you keep getting interrupted by any chance?
Did you hear that?
No, I did not. I can just see you looking off to the side.
Oh, yeah, I forgot you can see me.
From Press Red, welcome to Functions. This is episode number 17. My name is Matt Blackman, and as always, I'm joined by Eli Chure. Hello, Eli.
Hello, Mac. How you doing?
Doing all right.
Wicked.
Saw each other recently, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
But I want to first dive into something that's a little bit on the nerdy side. So in the last episode, we were talking about cameras. We were talking quite a lot about Fuji because that's the company I seem to be with. Not by choice, but suddenly picked up that camera and now I'm with it. And they just released the new Fujifilm GFX Eterna. Have you seen it?
No.
It's a film camera. It's like a proper cinema film camera.
Oh, wow. So they're planning on selling precisely 10 units. They're not going to sell many of those, are they?
Right.
They're going to be really expensive.
They look amazing. They don't look that different to a Red or anything, really. Actually, more close to the Sony Vegas ones. No, not Vegas is the editor. I didn't mean to say that. So the Sony...
Yeah, I know what you mean.
FX6, I think it's called.
I see it now. Medium format camera. 3.5K.
Oh, I couldn't find the price.
Oh, yeah. And that's a Black Friday deal. Apparently, that saved £2,000.
I think it looks nice. Actually, 3.5K is not too bad for that type of camera, especially for medium format.
Yeah. Well, it's 5.5K. That's a Black Friday deal.
All right. 5.5 is still not bad for a medium format camera. I know I'm giving Fujifilm a bit of leeway, but like that is a cinema camera shooting at medium formats of what, 6K?
Maybe. No, 4K 30p.
I still give it the benefit of the doubt.
Okay. So that's on your Christmas list?
Oh, God, no. My parents would kill me if I said that was the only thing on my Christmas list. Just desk stuff so far. The next thing I want to discuss, I saw this a while ago. Actually, a lot of this news is from a while ago, but we just never recorded an episode on it. So sorry about that, but here we go. Teenage Engineering released a new product, the OPXY. Now, my parents know how much I love the OP1 because I keep trying to get it, but it's so expensive.
Yeah.
This one's got even more expensive, but it still looks amazing. Have you seen the OP1 from...
Is that their sequencer?
Yes, that's the sequencer.
Yeah, I just see buttons. But yeah, is it a step sequencer?
Yes.
Okay, cool. No, I haven't seen it, but I think I've probably seen it on people's TikTok videos and whatnot.
I fell in love with it a while ago, and I've wanted one since then. I'd like to try one, but there's nowhere I've ever been to that has them on show to try it or anything.
Very niche, isn't it? I think there's probably a segment of the market who would use that, but not a lot. Not for £1,900.
No, I guess not. But it still looks amazing, and they've got more sounds available now in it. And it's just a thing I fallen in love with a while ago and would love to get at some point.
Yeah. Okay, well, you let me know. Do you even produce music, or is that just something you would like to play with?
So I started making music when I was 8 with the launchpad from, what is it, Novation? Is that the name?
Yeah.
Company? Yeah. So that was the first thing I ever used. And my mum brought it on a whim because she was wanting to make music. She's always wanted to make music. Now she's on guitars.
Oh, cool.
I just picked up the device one day and started playing music. And I have a very fond memory of the neighbors a couple houses down telling us to turn up the music. And it was while I was making music. And it was a great memory. And that's how I started off really loving music.
Yeah.
So I've always wanted to keep making more music. But when I got to high school, I got picked on for DJing and making music that I gave it up. So I'd love to get back into it.
That must be the most strange high school there is. I'm sure in most high schools that's a cool factor, isn't it? Like, wow, you do something creative.
Yeah, well, not at the school I went to. On the same kind of area of music and I guess audio, did you see the new Spotify stuff that came out?
No, what's going on?
So Spotify is trying to make it a lot easier for people to discover podcasts. So they're spending a lot of time and effort working on this. And one of the things they have done recently is allow you to upload short YouTube shorts or, I don't know, TikTok onto that platform to try and get more views. You now have better community tools. They kind of just updated everything. Is the best
So
way.
is it essentially like clipped up podcasts?
Yeah. So,
Okay.
They just made it a lot easier for you to try and advertise your own content. I started doing it with this podcast because I've been making YouTube shorts for these for ages. We'll see how that goes. I don't know if this is going to be a good system because at the moment, Spotify is the area that people listen to us the least on.
Right. Okay. Okay. Yes. So Spotify is an area where we need to pick up.
Yeah.
But maybe it is. I mean, clips. I was just talking on air about I forget his name now. Just done the marathon on Twitch. Just finished a month marathon. Broke all Twitch records.
No idea.
Come on, you must know his name.
No, I don't pay attention to Twitch. Like I just logged into my Twitch account for the first time this year today.
Okay, so Kai Cenat just broke all records on Twitch. Got 700,000 subscribers, but most of the traffic was generated from clips on other platforms, and namely Instagram. They brought people there. So clips are a great way to kind of tease something or tease some highlight and get people to click through. That conversion rate is really important.
That does remind me, we have a Press Red Instagram account now. So if anyone wants to follow that, please do. The last thing I wanted to mention, there are two things I want to mention, but one of them is moaning at YouTube and the other one is a Tesla app. Which one do you want to pick?
You know the one I want to pick. Yeah.
So yesterday it was announced that Tesla will be launching an Apple Watch app. And I thought you should know this.
Well, I've got mixed feelings about it because initially I bought an app, third-party app, maybe 6-7 months ago, £6, and it does everything that app does, but through a third party. So the fact that they're bringing it out now is a bit annoying, but because it's native, I guess it's going to be quicker, more reliable. From what I've seen, it can work as a key, which I guess is the main benefit.
That does mean that developer, though, is going to have to try and keep their audience, if they want to keep their audience, and try and update it in some sort of fun way, add more features maybe.
Yeah, but they'll have to. But the key thing is you can use, at the moment, my app, I can use the watch as a key. But with this one, you can leave your phone in the car and use the watch as a key. So it will deactivate the phone, if you like. So you can go off and do something, I don't know, camping, hiking, whatever it is you do, and come back to it being in the car, which is really useful for a lot of people. I don't see any other cars having that yet, do you?
No. I don't even think BMW would even give that a try yet. Or any
Well,
of
they've
those
got the remote phone key you have to buy as an extra when you buy the car, but that's just literally unlock, and it's literally unlock when you're like within a certain distance to the car, and then you have to push your button. It's not seamless.
Have you seen the Jaguar stuff?
The pink one.
It's insane. I mean, in my graphics lessons, we get talks a lot about how all the logos are being simplified a bit too much. I kind of like simplified logos, which I haven't said in class because I feel like I'd be murdered. So Jaguar's logo is the first simplified logo I really, really didn't like. It looks so wrong. And I know that, so I see Jaguar as a kind of a rich, older person car company.
Yeah.
So I feel their logo needs to fit that, not what they've currently just swapped to. Doesn't make any sense to me personally.
And it's got like a capital G.
Yeah, it comes to me as like, Mac makeup. It looks like Mac makeup to me.
Oh, yeah, it's a brand, Mac. Yeah. Yeah, it's very curvy and very not of the Jag driver who's normally like a 60-year-old guy like reliving his 20s.
Yeah. And there's the car leaked yesterday.
The car looks cool. If it's real, it looks like Mrs. Moneypenny's car.
I'm not a fan of it. I like the kind of square cars, like the Cybertruck, or actually that might just be it. This new futuristic car from Jaguar doesn't look that nice to me, personally.
No, I love it. I don't think that's what it's going to look like, though. It can't. No. There's no way.
The other thing that I've been complaining about with YouTube is just the app has become absolutely unusable. I actually uninstalled the app for the first time since I got an iPhone for a bit.
Me too.
Because it is driving me mad.
I've done exactly the same.
The only reason why I uninstalled it, because I got to the point where every time I played a video and I'd pause it, I couldn't press play again. It wouldn't play.
Right.
And it was driving, I couldn't do anything. And then the little They've changed the bottom play button area to this weird hovering box. It's dry. I don't want to use YouTube anymore. Please, someone make a better system.
Yeah, I've been using Brave browser for a long time for YouTube now, and I've just actually deleted YouTube altogether.
I got DuckDuckGo on this computer for that reason. Just use it to watch YouTube. Probably shouldn't admit that, but that is what I use it for.
So does DuckDuckGo remove ads?
Yes.
Oh.
They have a special video player just for YouTube to stop you from getting ads. We might have missed a rather big event that came out recently. I don't know if you know what it could have been.
No.
Based on the type of podcast we seem to have magically stumbled across. Like I should say, I never wanted Functions to be an Apple podcast, but it's very much become an Apple podcast now.
Well, Apple haven't brought anything out, like iOS 18.1.
They haven't brought anything out. Do you remember when we last recorded an episode?
No.
It was the week before the Mac Mini came out.
Oh, okay. Was it?
Yeah.
No, because we talked about the button being on the bottom.
No. We didn't, surprisingly.
Are you sure?
Oh, I have to listen back to that episode, but I'm pretty sure we didn't talk about the button being on the bottom.
Okay, let's go.
But yeah.
Mac Mini, did you get one?
No, but I know a lot of students that have. Yeah. Because it's just such a good deal at the beginning price.
Yeah.
What was it, 8 gigs of RAM or 16? I can't remember now.
16.
16 gigs of RAM and 252 gigs of RAM?
256.
56.
Yeah, storage.
Not 52.
Which is fine because you can, you got fast USB, so you can plug in whatever you want.
Yeah. You got Thunderbolt 4 and Thunderbolt 5 on the newer one. What is it? The Pro one. It is an amazing computer. And honestly, I was discussing with my dad after the live event that I did that would probably be a better thing to buy.
Oh, that's ideal for that. To take that little box and just pop it on and plug it into whatever's there.
I was thinking you could get one of those Pelican cases or probably something a lot cheaper because, my God, Pelican cases are expensive. And put all of that stuff in kind of one box and just arrive with it and put it down and start.
Well, lots of sound engineers do that already. If you go to live events, they carry around Mac Minis just to kind of manage all of their ins and outs and whatnot, and lighting and whatever else they're doing. So now, a real actual powerful Mac Mini that's smaller, it's a no-brainer for 500 quid.
It's now the mini.
Yeah. And you're a student, so you can get it for 500 quid.
Oh, can I? That's a good point. Oh, my dear.
£100 off.
And yes, the button is a pain. I didn't think it would be that much of a pain when I watched the video, but I went, the day it released, I went down to the Apple Store. It's probably the fastest I've actually gone to the Apple Store because I can now, and lifted it up, and it's not an easy button to reach at all.
So are they sending a message of don't turn this off?
Yeah, which is quite funny for how environmentally friendly they seem to want to be.
Yeah.
They spend a lot of time marketing saying we are environmentally friendly, but leaving this thing on, that will affect the environment in some sort of way. You can limit it because you're using the chips that you are.
But what's the benefit of not having it turn off?
I don't know. Do they want you to be able to be easily notified at any moment, or?
Yeah. It's the continuity thing, isn't it? It's going to make continuity a lot easier. Who knows what they've got planned? Being away from your Mac and being able to just maybe open your phone and tap it quite simply and have it wake up.
Yeah.
Those kind of things.
But personally, I like to turn off my desktop every day. My laptop, I don't want to turn off because it's easier to always having the tools that I have open at all times.
Yeah.
Because I'm in uni. That's the great thing. But for my desktop, I always want to turn it off. I don't know why. I don't know what that difference is in my mind. That's just something I do.
I always do. I'm a bit old school. I think about fires and things like that. Well, I can't leave things on to overheat for my desktop. Sometimes it's a week before I use it again. So, no.
And my dad has cursed me with this thought, but I really want front row back. Do you remember front row?
Of course I do, with the little remote on the side.
Yeah.
No one wants that.
I want it back.
That was for DVDs and iTunes and things like that.
I want it back. This Mac Mini would be... So the walls between Apple TV and Mac Mini are getting really, really thin again.
Yeah.
And I kind of would just like them to put the software or the UI from the Apple TV back on the Mac Mini for front row again.
Okay, but they've probably looked at the numbers. They already called Apple TV a hobby. Are they really going to make this software to convert this thing into an Apple TV-like thing for, a small amount of people?
The thing is, I just see it as a really good opportunity. Like, if you get an iMac or a Mac Mini, and yet again, I'm going to use the perspective of being a student, you could have it treat it like a TV.
Yeah.
In your accommodation.
Yeah.
Instead of having to
run
get
the
a
numbers.
TV.
What are the numbers on people who watch TV? You're just a bit old school, and that's okay, Mac. That's okay. But most people don't care about TV anymore, or having things on a big screen anymore. That's what your Mac and iPad are for.
Is that really what the iPad's for?
My iPad's a television, for sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Never thought of it like that.
It's an iPad Pro as well. What a waste. I sit and watch YouTube on it and Netflix on it. And it's a nice 13-inch screen. It's great for that.
So Apple also announced some iMacs, but they didn't seem like much of a change, in my opinion. It was just colors and updated to the M4 chips. I don't remember what they were on before. Was it still M2?
M2.
Yeah. So they needed that update. Actually, no, they didn't. What am I saying?
And 16 gig of RAM.
Yeah, well, 16 gigs of RAM is good. Did they put the price up?
No, but I do think it's overpriced. It should be. I remember back in the days when at one point you could get an iMac for $899 and $799 if you're a student. And that was the sweet spot for me.
I think that's a sweet spot for most tech, really, keeping it in that price. Or below it. Actually, I'd change it. I'd say the price for most people now is around 500 because you're not getting a lot of money anymore. Yeah.
And Apple can afford it. Come on, Apple. What are you doing?
The way they showed off all of this was very weird this time. I'm not sure if I'm a fan of it. I know that it was very effective and it got a lot of people's attention. But personally, I didn't like the idea that it wasn't this big, long clip. I know that they do the kind of shorter versions afterwards and you got Verge that will do a quick rundown of it.
Yeah.
But it feels like a cop-out in a way to just release these smaller videos every couple of days because you're cheating the system by having people's attention still on this channel this entire time.
Yeah. Well, that's what it is. I think these media companies and streaming companies are working out ways to keep your attention, but not only keep your attention, keep the conversation going. If you split that conversation into 3 days, then it becomes something that continues over those days and the chat stays, and then you bring eyes to your whatever it is you're doing. Think about streaming. They used to dump everything on one day, and they've realized that doesn't work for them. That doesn't keep people coming back. But if you split that over 10 weeks, you have 10 weeks of conversation, you build a new audience because no one likes being left out. FOMO is real. And it's the same with product launches. Yeah,
it's just we're getting so far away from Apple's roots of just standing in front of everyone and saying...
It's never coming back.
It's not, is it? I want it to, but it's never coming back. Apple has perfected the system now, and they don't want to change it. It's such a shame. Final Cut 11 is also now a thing, and I know that you...
Okay.
No?
No.
Well,
I mean, what could they possibly do to Final Cut 11? What's new? It's the tracking. They've got some new tracking on there.
Yeah, I've seen the tracking, and a lot of people have talked about that, and that is kind of all I know about it, to be honest. Let me have a look.
Yeah. AI-powered features. That's what everybody's doing. I mean, it's great. I think they've got some faithful users in professional and amateur, but they're not doing anything to make people leave their platform, are they?
No. Yeah, I want to give Final Cut a try, though. I want to spend a day or maybe a couple of weeks learning Final Cut to see what it's like. Maybe I set to myself the challenge of my next YouTube video should be edited in Final Cut just to see.
That'd be cool. Have you got it?
No, I just know they've got like a 90-day trial, so I could use that to do see how I can understand it. Really, I don't. Does anyone use compressor? What the hell is it anymore? I know what it is, but like it's...
Well, I suppose people don't use it separately, but it is the render engine, isn't it? So it's part of Final Cut.
So it doesn't...
But then it's also its own separate thing.
And then motion, I wouldn't touch with a pole, really. Like, I'm not using motion. I'm After Effects all the way. I'm not a fan of Adobe, but After Effects is really good.
Yeah. Well, didn't Apple just buy some company to kind of replace, was it Pixelmator? Yeah.
Yes, yeah, they did.
So that kind of does a bit of everything, doesn't it? It's got a bit of motion graphics, illustration, and photography editing. So maybe they're changing their offer.
Yeah. It's an interesting approach to take Pixelmator, and I think that's going to really play out very well for them. And I was talking to quite a few people about it when I taught my mum's lesson, which was very weird. But they were the people I spoke to didn't know that Pixelmator wasn't an Apple product.
Yeah, it very much looks like it from what I've seen.
Did I mention that to you? I taught my mum's lesson on InDesign.
No, you didn't say.
My mum was asking me all this stuff about InDesign to try and teach her own students, and it ended up just going, fine, I'll do it. And I came in to teach her a lesson, and it was very weird because the year that I was at college. So it was literally like teaching myself like a couple of months ago. Very, very weird.
It's good, though.
It was an interesting experience. I don't think I'd ever become a teacher. And the patience is not with me.
Maybe when you get a bit more distance from it, 10 years.
I don't know. So another thing that Apple has announced was Apple Intelligence is out in the US. As of the time of recording, it's still not available in the UK, but it is December. December is when it will be coming out in the UK. I will say, I have cheated. I've already got it.
Same.
Yeah, so we both did the swap to the US to give it a try thing.
Yeah, now all my moms say mom, but that's fine.
Yeah, I noticed that small little problem. Everything's slightly Americanized, but...
Lots of Zs instead of Ss and things like that.
But it's still an interesting concept to see. I really like the new note tool. The fact that it will translate or transcribe my text even faster, because I had a lecture a couple of months ago that I couldn't be asked to re-listen to all over again, and I just got it to summarize the whole thing. Absolutely great.
Yeah, well, that's it. You can record a whole lecture, have it transcribe, and then have it summarize, and then... Yeah, that's great. The table feature is great.
The what feature?
Table.
The table feature? What's that?
So you could select all of that text and then make it put it into a table, and it will make sense of it and put it into a table for you.
Oh, I haven't tried that.
Yeah, it's cool.
I will say, the writing tools are very interesting. I quite like them. I haven't tried the email client. I've heard mixed reviews on the email client, like it's too generic at the moment.
I like the email client. I like seeing I'm looking at it right now. I like seeing the summaries. Working in a place that has hundreds of employees, you can see which emails you could ignore at a glance, which is quite nice. I don't like being a Grammarly user. I do not like the kind of the spag tools. I thought I'd love them, and I hate them. They're terrible.
Really?
Concise is terrible. Even like the suggestions for spellings and things are just not really that good.
So recently, yet again, with uni being a big change, the entire uni is on the Microsoft system. And I really, really hate the Microsoft system, especially Outlook. I don't understand it. It's not an email client I've ever been used to. I take one look at it and it is incredibly confusing to me. I don't know what is current, past, seen, not seen. It's just a mess. And the first thing I did when I got Apple Intelligence is port my email over to Mail just to see if it would make it any better. And the summarizations is perhaps the only thing I've used, and it is so good on that as well.
Yeah, it's great.
So my skepticism against it is slowly decreasing. There are still areas that it's not great at. The summarization is just perfect. It's exactly what I want.
Yeah.
Siri, I can't wait for it to get the update, because it is practically still useless at the moment. Lovely animation, and I love the fact that I can now do double tap at a command and I can type it.
Yeah.
In fact, when I was teaching that lesson, I spoke to Siri. It made the class go quiet, which was very funny, but because I didn't know something, and I haven't done that with Siri for a while. I'm surprised it's not triggered, actually. Oh, I'm in a recording. It doesn't do that. That is a thing that does annoy me. Anytime I'm in a call or recording, I can't trigger it.
It's quite clever if you Like I often find myself in a room with 3 devices: a HomePod, Apple Watch, iPad, and an iPhone. So 4 devices, and it will automatically pick one of those, and the others will ignore it somehow, which is quite clever. But they all have to be yours, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to the next generation of all Apple Intelligence stuff, really.
Yeah.
We got the update this month, and I'm hoping it's going to be a good update. That's all I can wait for.
Do you know what? I'm thoroughly disappointed with Apple Intelligence. The hype was so big, and the features I wanted all came already. I wanted the writing tools. That's all I really wanted. And the summary tools. And it's like, I still use Grammarly and I use Summary. So I couldn't care for the new Siri. I couldn't care for the Genmojis.
Oh, no, I couldn't care about that.
I couldn't care for the Chat GPT. We've got all those already. So I am really disappointed, and I'm looking forward to what is next for
I am
particular platform.
very interested in the ChatGPT side of things, because the main tool that I use on my Mac is ChatGPT. It's become such a really good thing for quick searching, specifically, right? So I have a huge interest in After Effects, and every time I try and find a tutorial video, you have to be incredibly specific to find the thing you're looking for. So I've been using ChatGPT to explain my problem, and it will find a video or solution that I need to solve this problem. That is where I use it the most, and I just love it for that. I would like to not have the app installed anymore, just because I have to launch it and then I have to have it as a task thing. I'd like it just to be a native thing. So I am very much looking forward to Siri getting that ChatGPT integrations instead of just telling me, I'm sorry, I don't know that, or let me just search that on the internet, which is not very useful.
I guess I'm looking forward to that, being able to, the contextual awareness is what I'm looking forward to, I guess. So you could say, you don't have to really explain. Sometimes I have to say, I'm doing this and I'm this person and these are my goals, and can you look at this? Whereas contextual awareness will understand what's on your device, and then it will use ChatGPT for that. That's cool if it works.
I'd say for me, I'm not disappointed with the whole Apple Intelligence thing at the moment, because I had such low expectations, especially when they said the iPhone's launching with Apple Intelligence. That annoyed me more because it just wasn't.
Yeah.
I don't advertise it like that. That was a thing that really did annoy me. Going to the Apple store in the UK where Apple Intelligence technically still isn't available, and they have it marketed on all of it. It's just insane. But there you go. Yeah. There's our Apple Intelligence rant. The Transient Radio live event. So you were there.
I was there as a punter, a bit of a fan.
Yeah, and recording a bit for your documentary.
Yeah, so we just stole some time. The problem with making any film is location, isn't it? So we're just looking for different locations to talk to people, and that was a great opportunity. So yeah, I stole 20 minutes at the start.
Probably when that documentary comes out, you'll see me in the background listening on the conversation. It was very interesting. I enjoyed listening on that conversation. Honestly,
you were in all of the shots. I'll send them to you. I sent some screenshots to someone, and you're in the background.
But I was also excited by hearing what it was. What was going through my mind at that moment was, I can't join in. I cannot join in. I want to join in. I cannot join in.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a great night. I really, really thoroughly enjoyed that.
Yeah, it's a great night.
Apart from my laptop overheat,
you've done really well.
That panicked me for a little bit. I've got all the footage on my computer. I've got to edit that now, and I've got to call to arrange all of that. But yes, that was a great night. I got some great photos as well.
I mean, you're underselling it a little bit. You had like a spaceship in front of you. Talk to me about what you had out that night.
Daz came along and said, I've got the Star Trek Enterprise set up in front of me.
Yeah,
which I think is quite funny. You just sent me a photo.
I'm just sending you some of the clips of what the...
Then me in the background holding my chin.
Yeah. Some of the shots I got. Looks nice. It looked quite nice with the lights and whatnot going on.
In my setup, I had my Mac Pro as the brains of the whole operation. And then I might have treated myself to buying a little Blackmagic A10 to bring in the Blackmagic footage, which...
You deserve it.
So you may think I'm insane for the fact that I spent the money on that board just to put one camera input in, but honestly, it was worth that price, because you get these little adapters that are like £100 or stuff like that, and they all either PCIe or Type C, and they're not great. Like the first one I could have gone for was the Elgato, but that's made for gaming, so it's going to focus more on its frame rate than the quality. When we kind of wanted more quality for those shots. We're not expecting a high frame rate, although I did accidentally go live with 60 frames, as you pointed out.
That probably started to kill your computer. That's the first thing that started to kill it.
So going for this was just a way better way of dealing with that footage, in my opinion. I wanted to get it for two reasons. The one reason is I could generally in the future buy some cameras from, I want to get those mini ones. I feel like that would be the best deal for them all.
Yeah.
But this would be great for doing live stream setups for them again, or being called in for doing any live stream. But honestly, I'd be happy to do any more. And for Screen Free, we wanted to have cameras. That's a big discussion that's been going on. Can we have camera setups for the podcast episodes? And they have cameras in that room already. They're just not great, and we can't see through them until it's done and recorded.
Right.
And we were recording on our DSLRs and mirrorless cameras when we could, but they were Fuji films, so they don't last very long.
Right.
Getting that A10, I'm hoping that we can get some cameras and then a kind of a setup that we can record videos from any location. And
that'd be cool.
Yeah. So that's the explanation of the A10. I then had Elgato Stream Deck with me to control OBS, which you said was also overkill, but I needed it.
You had one camera and one projector.
One camera, one projector, 3 screens. I don't see it as overkill. I see it as being prepared for all occasions.
Okay. All right. Give you that. I mean, what occasions could you have imagined? I don't know. It looked good though. I mean, it looked great. You got lots of great feedback. I think the highlight of it for me after the stream was when you managed to do the overlay of the live stream on the projector on the wall, which was great.
It's a shame I did that in the last 10 minutes. If that was done way earlier on, I don't think I would have been worrying about the graphics as much. I spent a lot of time with the background graphics trying to make them exciting, and I don't feel like they came out as well. I know a lot of people praised them, but personally, I would have liked to have done something way more overkill for that whole setup. But yeah.
In terms of watching the stream, though, they were just kind of a nice complement to what you were seeing in front. So you kind of had these 3 panes of depth. You had the foreground, which is the DJ. Then you had these silhouettes of people dancing, and then you had the graphics behind it. And I think if it was overcomplicated, it might have been too distracting.
Honestly, the graphics were more for the people who were there and less for the people watching online. Yeah.
I think what you find, though, especially nowadays with events like that, is the people that were there almost don't matter, because the video lives on, and people end up watching that, and the viewers accumulate, and that becomes what the event was. Think about Boiler Room, for example. If you watch Boiler Room,
yeah, of course I've watched Boiler Room.
What matters is the people watching it online. The people that were there had a good time, but really the audience is beyond that, isn't it?
So I believe that we'll probably be doing more of those events at some point. It is generally great working for Transient Radio. I have been really enjoying doing that, and it's caused me to kind of want to start DJing again or make music again, which I think my parents have been trying to get me to do for a while.
Just do it. What are you waiting for? DJing is so accessible now. It's, all you need is your music. You can DJ off of any MIDI hardware you can find.
That's the problem, though. I don't have a music collection. I have vinyls. I have my Spotify account, but I don't have a very big MP3 or FLAC music collection. So I have to try and find a way to get a collection at some point. The only way I'm getting
the easiest answer is just to become a vinyl DJ.
Yeah, I've just never DJ'd vinyl, so I don't know what it's like. I'm very used to having, what do you call it?
Controllers.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, controllers that have the effects. Everything's on board, really, is the best way of putting it. While with turntables, you got to focus more on it's difficult to apply effects to a turntable. You have to buy separate things usually. So the last thing I've got to discuss then, I don't know what happens, but in the last couple of months, I've become a big Instagram user. I don't ever like social media, but what I do is I log on once a day, I post some photos, and then back out again. Just for fun. Yeah. I just keep it as like a place to store all my photos, which I know is not a great place. I do have an actual drive on my computer also with all the photos. But I was kind of encouraged on that night to put my photos on the screen, which is a very weird moment when Leroy came up to me and went, you should put those up on there. You've got really nice photos. And he was right. They work really well up there, especially.
It's your art, isn't it? And
yeah.
You know, sometimes I think artists are held back by them restricting themselves from putting themselves out there. And you're in this position where you're controlling the art and the visuals, and you've got great visuals sitting in your pocket, but you're thinking, I don't know if I should put my visuals here, even though I'm employed to do just that thing.
Yeah, they did look really good. And what I've done since then is just absolutely mess with them and put them in After Effects and see how they would look to music. Generally, yesterday I had music cranked up and just sat in After Effects messing around, seeing what it would look like. So I also took photos of the night and put them on my Instagram account as well. They came out really well. I have one photo that I really, really like, though. And it's from the second collection, and it's on of Leroy. It's a black and white photo with the kind of white contrast put up. And it looks so good. That's my favorite photo of the whole night.
He reposted it, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. It's a lovely picture. I thought I don't know. I actually thought, who took that? Did I take that? So I thought, I didn't take that. It's the kind of picture I'd take.
It's just a lovely photo.
Yeah.
And then I came back to college and our task was take photos of things. So I'm in my element in the last 3 days. So it's been going well.
That's literally the task.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's why there's now suddenly a picture of a crisp packet and some grass and stuff above those photos, because that's what I was told to do.
Nice.
But yeah, that's it for the episode. I will mention, though, that the next episode will be a special episode. It's going to be us looking at each other's screens again and comparing what apps we've been using and music. Just a big wrap-up of all the stuff that we would recommend other people to use, really. That's the next episode.
Absolutely. Can't wait.
The final episode of the year. The following month, that will be our, 2-year anniversary?
2 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Of doing this. So probably should do something for that as well. Get Jonas back in to do another quiz.
Oh, I thought he was going to say have a party or something. Okay.
It's a podcast. You can't have a party in a podcast. Although they
You can DJ. Yeah, of course you can. Pod party.
I'll think about that. Got some time. But yeah, for now, let's wrap this up. You can check out Eli's work on his socials or on his podcast, Where the Key's At. To follow me, I'm at MacBlout on mastodonapp.uk. This episode was edited by me. Thank you for listening to this episode of Functions. We'll see you in the next one, the special one.